When you say meditation, talk to me a little bit about what that means to you.
Well, I downloaded an app, Headspace, and it's the one on Netflix who has the big documentary, and I didn't know that, and I kind of started watching on Netflix, but it's just, I don't know I haven't dug into what meditation is or what it's supposed to do for you. For me, it's 4 minutes a day. I flick on the app. This guy talks to me in a soothing voice, and he just says, essentially breathe deep, watch how you breathe, focus on that. When my brain runs off 10 times, he brings me back in. And it's just a way to refocus on what I'm trying to, be impactful on in the next hour and the next 5 hours. And for me, that's really beneficial because my brain can get going 7 different ways where I don't accomplish anything. Actually, I just stress myself out and nothing happens.
Yeah, meditation for me was the really forced me to have the realization that there are all these voices in my head, things that prompt me to do stuff that dissuades me from doing stuff, the voices that, get me to give into my vices, and that I don't control them. And that really gave me a very different feeling of the sense of self. Like, who are you? If there are voices that say like, hey, we should go do that, or, oh, you don't have to worry about that, or, oh, look what that person has that you don't have. And the fact that you can't just be like, quiet down, voice, I'm trying to work here, because you have this like, sense of consciousness, this sense I am me. And yet there are these other things that participate in who me is, that like it really starts helping you to understand. Like for me, meditation was the best imagery I can give is I thought that the vestibule was the entire cathedral. And then you start realizing like, wait, no, if I follow any one of these voices down to their different area, I realize this is an enormous building of the self of which I know just the tiniest little aspect of. And, I would never have gotten there had I not first had meditation where I started to realize like there are these other voices.
Yeah. And you forgot one voice in there, the bitch voice, the voice that says you're tired. Why don't you just lay on the couch? Or it's cold outside. Why don't you just, stay inside? And Jocko, I think it's Jocko Willnick. He's the guy who probably has coined it lately in popular culture, but believe me, that voice talks to me all the time, and recognizing it for what it is doesn't mean I beat it all the time, but I beat it more than I lose to it. And I agree with you. Like you got different things going on in your head, and that's okay. And meditation probably, that's a chunk of its messages. It's okay, right? Like just recognize it and carry on with life.
Yeah, the Stephen Pressfield says that that voice that's like telling you it's okay, calls it the voice of resistance. And I have found that just by being able to name that voice, you called it the bitch, right? Like just by being able to be like, hey, whoa, no, get out of here. That's not, we don't want to do that. We, the other voices, want to do other stuff that's not that. But I'm with you on the fact that meditation was really important, and I kind of ebb and flow on the different ways that I do it. And I'm glad to hear anybody starting it, because it's like a hell of a drug, man. I can tell you that.
It is. I was brought up in a I don't know, Christian family, went to church all the time. Not a specific denomination, just believe in God and read the Bible and be good to people and whatever. But what I struggled with probably, into my adult life was I never talked to God. I don't even know, what the heck would that even look like? And if he did talk to you, would you think you were crazy? And whoa, that is a out of body experience per se. Meditation is the closest thing I've ever had to spiritual, where it's just like, wow, you can feel that energy. Like you can. Once a day, you can feel it. And I don't know what that is, but it's noticeable. And I look for those things all the time, because I think too much in our too much of the world is moving so fast you'd never even be able to, stop and smell the roses per se. But there's very few things that if you did stop and did it, you could notice it immediately.
As you think about, the prayer or the greater, the divine, any of these things, and you talked about wanting to pass lessons on to your children, your 2-year-old daughter dancing. When you think about dying or no longer being here, what do you want to be remembered about you?
I don't know, Vance. That's a large question. I just want people to, when I go, I want people to come together, probably have one too many beers, enjoy the night, and celebrate it. I'm hoping I give them something to celebrate, right? Like that was a hell of a life he lived. And not, he was taken too soon or like, man, that was a long 10 years he had at the end. It was like, no, I'd rather the other way. I would rather, when I go, don't worry about if it was too soon or not. In the time I had, I gave it everything. And I hope for my kids, well, I know this in my kids, they got part of me sitting there, because everyone that talks to me about my oldest has said he is identical to me at that age, which means, okay, there's a little Shaun already in the making, and I can already see it in my other 2 kids. So that means Shaun's going to carry on, obviously not me, but part of me is there. And if we can continue to do that, that's a lot of that's pretty cool. And as for, when I'm gone, I just hope people enjoy the time that I had on, because I'm loving every minute I'm here.
Thanks for checking out this podcast short. If you like this interview, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button and hit that bell so you always get notified about this podcast. And if you're really interested in conversations like this, you may want to consider joining the Articulate Ventures Network. To find out more, go to network.articulate.ventures.